Sorry, 7th grade, I got cut off by a phone call. Okay, so we were deciding that A and C would be eliminated because those inequality signs are incorrect. We need less than, which are the ones that point to the left. So we're left with B and D right now. So then we want to look at the problem and see what other numbers are provided. So we have $9.95 and we have $5. And then we want to look for the words that are attached to them. So I noticed that it's telling us that each hat costs $9.95. When I see the word each, that indicates multiplication. So I know that I'm going to be multiplying $9.95 by the amount of hats that the coach is ordering, but I don't know that, right? So that would be $9.95 each. And then they also tell us there's a shipping charge on the entire order of $5. That's a one-time charge. They are just charging you those $5 for the shipping, and you're just charged that once. So we would just include that in our total. So if you notice here, that kind of takes us to why choice B would be incorrect. So we know that it is less than 125. We want that. But as we just discussed, the $9.95 should have the H attached to it because it's $9.95 for each hat. It's not $5 for each hat. $5 is the shipping charge, the one-time charge. So we're looking for $9.95 being the coefficient of H. $9.95 multiplying H. So that's going to leave us with choice D. And now everything is correct. We have that it is less than 125. That's correct. We have the plus 5 for the one-time shipping charge. Correct. And then we also have $9.95 being multiplied by the cost of the hat, which is also correct. So that is why D is correct. Okay. So we're going to continue doing some questions like these as our spiral review today. And again, if you have any questions after we are done, please feel free to reach out to me at any point today so that I can clarify any further misconceptions. Okay, so we're going to continue with the process of elimination for the next problem. It's going to be a multiple choice question, and we'll just start eliminating similar to what we just did in our warm-up. Okay, here's that chart again that I showed you earlier. Gives you a few pointers as far as words you might see that come up to indicate those inequalities. A few that come up a lot would be at most. At most sounds like it would be greater than, but it's actually less than or equal to. So for example, if you were talking about a room, sometimes you might see a sign that says you can fit at most 500 people in here. Okay, so that means you could fit 500 or less. You can't fit more than that. So at most is less than or equal to. And then its opposite, at least, sounds like it might be less than, but it's actually greater than or equal to, where if you think of like voting, you have to be at least 18 years old to vote, I believe it is. So that means you have to be 18 or greater. You can vote when you are younger than that. All right? Okay, so here's our problem about Kayla. She has a rewards card for Dave & Buster's. She receives 45 points for becoming a rewards card member, and then 10.5 points for each visit to the arcade. She needs at least 165 points to earn free 4-hour game card. Which inequality could Kayla use to determine X, the minimum number of visits she needs to earn her first free 4-hour game card? So the first thing I want you guys to do in problems like these is look for those inequality words. If you look in the problem, does anyone see a word that indicates an inequality? One definitely stands out to me. It's something that we actually just discussed. And that word would be at least, right? So at least indicates to me that our inequality sign is going to be greater than or equal to. She needs 165 points to earn the free 4-hour game card or more. She needs at least that. So it's going to be greater than or equal to. So when I go to my inequalities, the problem is my inequalities are backwards. Look, guys, my solutions are on the left and my expressions are on the right. So the first thing we need to do is rewrite our inequalities. And I want to just review how we do that. If you get an inequality when it's written in the reverse way, where your solution is on the left and your expression is on the right, all you do is you take the expression on the right, you don't change anything with it, you just rewrite it over here on the left, okay? Then you're going to switch the inequality symbol, and then you bring what was on the left side over to the right side, your solution. Okay, and that's how you would switch your inequalities. So now we can read it the correct way and see that this inequality is actually representing greater than. And you can do this every time. So if I gave you right? We don't like it like this because our solution, our number by itself, is on the left side. We always like it on the right side. So to rewrite it, we take what's on the right, we put it on the left. We don't change any order. We keep it the way it is. Okay? We switch the inequality symbol, and then we bring over the solution to the right side. Okay? So in this particular problem, all of our inequalities are not written in the form that we like to see them. So we rewrite them. Notice every time the expression on the right moved over to the left, the inequality sign switches, and then your solution moves to the right. Okay, and that's what I did for A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. I did it for all of them for you. And now we're going to look for that word at least, right? So at least means greater than or equal to. So if you look at our red choices, which ones do not have greater than or equal to? Those are going to be the ones we eliminate first. Okay, and you should notice that choice A and B have less than or equal to. So we're going to eliminate those. Those are not possible answers that we could use for this because she needs at least that amount. She can't get it if she has less than 165 points. So those would not be okay. Now we're going to go back to the problem and look for those other numbers and the words that come with them so that we can figure out how the rest of our inequality should be set up. So it told us that she gets 45 points for becoming a rewards card holder. So it looks like she's just getting that for becoming a member. It's like a one-time thing. And then she's getting 10.5 points for each visit. We don't really know how many visits she's going on, but I know that word each means multiply. So maybe it would be 10.5 times X because I don't know how many visits. So looking at our choices that we have left, we can eliminate choice D because she's not getting 45 points each visit. She's getting 10.5 points each visit. The 45 was just referring to the one-time amount of points she gets for becoming a member. So now D is also going to be eliminated, leaving us with C as the correct choice. Okay? It's showing us that it's 10.5 points for each visit, plus the 45 points she got for becoming a member, at least greater than or equal to 165 points. Okay, so there's another process of elimination. Sometimes it won't be multiple choice, so here are our steps. Basically what we're doing, we're identifying the keywords to choose the inequality symbol. We're looking for those other words that indicate the operations and how to figure out what our variable is, and then we're putting it together and writing our inequality. So I'm going to do maybe one more with you. The other two are solved as well, and then I'll show you what else you're responsible to do today. So it says you have $20 to spend on a taxi fare. The ride cost $5 plus $2.50 per mile. Write an inequality to determine the distance in miles D you can ride for $20. So looking at this problem, they tell you that you have $20. If you have $20, then you can spend the $20 or less. If all you have is $20, you can't spend more than that. So that would be the first thing I notice, is that my inequality is going to be less than or equal to $20. I can spend 20 or I can spend less than it. I can't spend more than it because that's all I have, okay? The next thing you want to do is look for the other numbers in the problem, make sure they relate to it, and look for the words that are included with it so that you can figure out what operations should go with them. So it says the ride costs $5. That's going to be a one-time charge again. Just for getting in the cab, it's going to cost you $5 plus, that indicates addition, so 5 plus $2.50 per mile. Per is another word that indicates multiplication. We don't know how many miles. That was our variable D. So it would be $2.50 times D. So that part would look something like this. $5 for getting in the cab plus the $2.50 per mile, or you could have wrote it the other way, commutative property, $2.50 times D plus the $5 for getting in. And then all you're going to do is put it all together. So we would have the $5 plus the $2.50 per mile less than or equal to 20, or if you just switch those two numbers, right, $2.50D plus 5 less than or equal to 20. Now you guys should know by now that you can also solve these inequalities by using inverse operations, and that's shown here. We would move our constant, we would minus 5 from both sides because it's a positive 5 to cancel it out. We would be left with 250D less than or equal to 15, 20 minus 5. And then to get D by itself, we would divide by 250. So D would be less than or equal to 6, which means we can ride for 6 miles or less. Okay? There's a couple more problems for you to look at, and they're all worked through, showing you the steps to take to figure them out. And then you have a Google form today. It's only 4 questions. Please use the lesson today as a guide. I'll show you where that is just so that you can see that. Let me go here. Okay, so we'll go down to, where is it, day 4? No, that's day 1, sorry. Where am I? Here we go. Okay, so then you click here, you have your exit ticket. It'll come up, and then you'll answer your 4 questions on the inequalities, okay? For these, you are not solving, you're just writing the inequality, you're picking the inequality that is correct. So just make sure you're really using those keywords we went over, the inequality chart that's posted with the lesson. Keep that in mind so that you don't make any silly mistakes. All right, I hope you're all staying safe, 7th grade. Take care.